well, and it was very disappointing. You lead for all but .06 seconds, tied for about a minute. And yeah, we didn't deserve to win the game. They deserved to win the game. We made plays. I mean, it's hard to say what our defense was. We pulled them to 24-10 in the first half. We made 3 threes the whole game. Just such a shame for me. I mean, the crowd was unbelievable. It's almost like these players, you know, sometimes they expect everybody to give to them. They got to give something back to the crowd. And we didn't do that. And I didn't, they didn't, and that was disappointing. Probably not going to win many games if our 2 shooters go, what did they go, 6 for 24. You know, both of them struggled. I thought Booker did a nice job. I thought Cohen played okay. It was our veterans. We didn't rebound the ball. We didn't make wide open shots. That can get frustrating. Only turned it over 10 times before in the last minute. So I had a lot of film watching to do to find out what I think went wrong. So probably less said the better for me. I'll answer any question you got.
Tom, on the defensive end for you in the second half, what changed a lot of the shoot for you?
Well, I thought, you know, Devin Royal, who hasn't been playing much, really hurt us. He gets 14 points there. I just thought that sometimes guys let their offense dictate their defense, and we didn't do as good a job. I thought AJ did a hell of a job on Thornton. And even though Gale only went 3 for 10, he gets offensive rebounds and gets fouled and gets free throws, goes 6 for 6. And, you know, I mean, if you look at their stats other than Royal, they're not very good. And yet they shoot 37 and 17, and we lose at home, you know. And rebounding was part of it. Not getting to the line enough is part of it. Best shooters not being able to make shots was part of it. Probably I didn't do a good enough job coaching them as part of it, and give them credit. They have done 13 and 12, and they didn't quit, so I'll give them credit.
Tom, I know you always focus on accountability for your teams and yourself. You even mentioned last week with the change that this program went through. How much of an X factor is it when they're up, they have a big win against Purdue, they come in like that, it's almost like some new blood. How much of an X factor can that be in running into a team a couple of weeks out or something like that?
I don't think any. I really don't. I just think when you got 3 seniors that have been through the wars, that shouldn't have anything to do with it, you know? I mean, we're playing for a lot too. We're at home playing in front of a crowd that was so good, and you know, in between ripping me and us, which they would be deserved. At least thank them, because they did their job a lot better than I did mine. But I really don't think that had anything to do with it. Sure, they won a game. They went to Minnesota and lost. You know, everybody's beating somebody this year. It was more about us than it was about them, in my mind, and it's kind of shown 37-17. I mean, those aren't very good numbers, and they still won.
I'm wondering about the decision with Booker in the second half. You put him on a bench with 15. They started attacking you guys inside, and I think he had 3 blocks at that point. What changed with him out for you guys?
Well, they were running, those guards were running out ball screens, and we just didn't think he was as available to do things as some of our veterans. And just a coaching decision we made. I love what Booker did. He did a lot of good things, and but there were some things that you didn't see that he didn't do on coverages, and so that's the only thing that changed. He did have some blocks, he did have some things, and give him credit for that. But at the same time, we struggled to rebound the ball. They were getting rebounds in there, and maybe blocks a shot. But there was nothing bad. Everything about Booker I thought was good.
You heavily emphasized more defensive intensity after Tuesday. Despite the outcome, did you see a lot of growth and improvement in that area?
I saw some. I thought there was a lot of loose balls we didn't get, balls on the ground we didn't get. Like I said, we had two guys that really struggled, and when you struggle that much shooting the ball, I think it affects all of your game. I don't think we guarded as well with those guys either. But the numbers show that we're somewhat better defensively.
Jaden's been talking a lot over the last few weeks about playing desperate, and tonight it just seemed like you guys didn't really.
Oh, I thought he played desperate. I mean,
But-
taking the ball in there, getting it, doing things that desperate doesn't mean out of control. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But that's kind of what I wanted to get into. It wasn't until that 7-0 swing in the second half where it really seemed like everyone on the floor was at that desperation point. I guess, did you see that, or am I?
No, I didn't think we were desperate enough the whole game, if you want the truth. I didn't think, our defense was pretty good, we were doing some things, but we weren't making shots ever. The whole game we had wide open. Poor Ty had about 3 at the end, wide open threes. We didn't make any of them, and so I don't know if that's desperate. I think people don't play as desperate now. They're more worried about their own games. As desperate means you're worried about the team. And I didn't think we were. I didn't think every loose ball has been one of our problems. I didn't think we got a lot of those loose balls. I mean, we were down at halftime, right, rebounding. So desperate. You at 7-minute mark. I don't think we changed the rebounding much. But we missed some great shots, and hard to do that. I mean, you can't score 60 points at home. That's never happened, I don't think, in a long time. So.
But Tyson, I think, took his first shot, I want to say 12 minutes in maybe, and goes 5 for 15. Were they guarding him well? Do you think it was just an off night for him? Was it a combination?
No, I think he was frustrated with what sure wasn't the calls. And when you're one of the better players, you're going to get defended. I thought AJ did a hell of a job on Thornton. He gets 2 breakaways because of turnovers we have. Other than that, he goes 2 for 11. So Ty's got to realize that people are going to come at him more. They're going to double him. He's going to come off ball screens. They're going to do things. For some reason tonight, I thought it really frustrated him, but maybe not. But like I said, if my 2 shooters shoot that way, we're not gonna. Nobody's gonna win games with that. Your defense is going to carry you so far.
Tom, one of the narratives around this team is that they've been somewhat feast or famine throughout the year. How much would you say you agree with that sentiment?
I don't know where the feast has been. I don't think any game I felt like we, I shouldn't say any, but not enough games we put our foot on their throat. I don't think we've done a great job of that. AJ said, we're not finishing very well. He was right. So I don't know if it's feast or famine. I really don't, but we'll. I'm just gonna have to look at the film and see. Some of the things we did, I just thought were mind-boggling to me, and it's under my tutelage, so I gotta figure it out.
Tom, I know in the Big Ten, anybody can win anywhere, but you had 2 games here at home. How do you stop the bleeding, seeing with your remaining games that are coming up? And would you rather have another game this week, or do you think the team needs?
Yeah, I told you about the basketball gods. We've been going on a pretty tough schedule, right? And now this week we get 5 or 6 days between games, and it's spring break. think that's good, it's not good. I mean, last week I gave them 2 days off just because I thought they were so worn down. So, your question was what, I'm sorry?
Just how do you stop the bleeding? Getting ready to go into Mackey. I mean, I know
Play
you.
Edie, stop the bleeding that way. You know, this is one time I'm gonna say they've gotta figure some things out too. You know, we had a really good couple days of practice. And early on when we missed some shots, guys' heads just went down. I mean, it was, to be honest with you, that's ridiculous. And so, you know, we'll meet with them, we'll talk to them, we'll work at it, but they gotta make some decisions too. And, you know, it's a day and age where we're not allowed to blame anybody else, so I'll take all the blame, but players gotta make some decisions, you know. We had enough good shots. We had enough chances to get a rebound, and we didn't do that. And we gotta do a better job.
On the Ohio State playing without Jameson Battle in the head.
Yeah, I think that helped them. You know, I know it sounds stupid, but last year, you know, they played without a great player, their best player. And I warned my staff about that, you know. And I thought Gail did a lot more, was a lot more active. I should say it helped them, but I don't know if Royal would have played as much. In fact, he wouldn't have, if they would have played him at the 4. I thought they went to Oak Park a little bit more, so give Jay credit, he did a good job of that. And but you never know, you know, sometimes I swear when I get into a game, if somebody's missing a player and I don't find out till right before the game, it's never a good thing from my standpoint. And yet, I do appreciate that Battle's a good player, but I don't look at it like, boy, if they had a battle, they'd have beat you by 15. I really don't.
What I wanted to ask was that they had some guys step up that weren't expecting, I'm sure, coming in this morning. What does it take for a player, maybe at this stage of the season, to be able to say, okay, this guy's not playing, I need to give more than I've given at any point? How does a player do that at this point of the season?
Oh man, I know when I was a player, that would have been a dream come true. You know, you never hope somebody else gets hurt or somebody else is sick or something. But I remember one time when a freshman coach that I had said, don't worry about why you get the opportunity, just make sure you take advantage of the opportunity. A guy named Dwayne Jones, who coached at UD and all over. It's a pretty good point. You know, some guys do that, some guys don't. And I just thought that they had a couple guys, and give Royal credit. He really stepped up, but if you look at the rest of their stats, they're not very good either, and neither are ours.
We saw Marty look a little more comfortable off the bench today. How did the move to the bench affect him from a confidence standpoint?
Well, look, here's the deal on that, so you know. I mean, you know, some of you are going to be so incredibly. Most of you have gone to every practice every week since I started the season one time, right? Most of you. And you saw what Book was like, you know. I think it was Tyson Walker said to me 2 days ago, man, he's improved in 2 weeks, you know. So, you know, the easy thing for a writer to do is say, why didn't you play him more? Why didn't you do this? And trust me when I say Book knows exactly what's going on. I spent hours with Book, hours, and helped me tell me what he was feeling and what he thinks he wasn't ready for and was. And we did it because we thought the matchup at center was more his size, you know, compared to some of these beasts that we've played against. And so that has something to do with it. And you don't want to put a guy in there and he gets crushed and then the confidence goes to hell. But we'll be able to build on this with Marty. Doesn't mean, you know, we've got a strange situation the next game because you got a guy that is so big and they go to so often. So we'll have to make some decisions. But I'm really proud of Marty. I mean, he gave an interview to somebody in here, Jay Wright, who was at the game. So it was one of the best interviews you've ever heard because he didn't complain, didn't do this and that, explained things very well. And I think there's an advantage to letting you guys come to practice. If you really come there to look and watch and not gossip and talk, you'd see what he could and couldn't do. And he is getting better, and that's what should happen. Just like it did to Draymond at the end of the season, and just like it did to Xavier Tillman. I mean, guys, that's what the process is. So we're going to continue to grow with him. He's going to be a superstar next year. I really believe that. He'll get bigger and stronger, and we're going to play more physical, and hopefully we'll make some progress still this year. What we got left.
Early in the season, you had mentioned that like leadership was kind of concerned whether or not this group is prepared for that type of responsibility. Sounds like we're still seeing that a little bit now at this point. How, I guess, concerning is it that that is still an issue with guys that have been here and done that? And is it salvageable
Well,
at this
it's
point?
not, being a leader doesn't mean that you're experienced. I mean, I had experienced guys that couldn't leave their way out of bathroom. I mean, just because you're experienced, that doesn't mean you're a leader. Leadership is something that we're all craving for. We're all looking for. Leadership is something that is within. I mean, you have to take care of yourself and you have to take care of others. That's what leaders do. And there's not a lot of people. And I told you I thought COVID hurt that because we all siloed in on ourselves. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that our leadership is very good, but I told you the same thing at the beginning. I hope nobody thought I was going to give somebody a shot and all of a sudden they became a leader, because that doesn't happen. There's some great players that you followed that were great players and not great leaders. There's another guy that's not a great player, maybe, but is a great leader. And that's the problem, but I don't know if that had anything to do with tonight. I thought, I put a lot on AJ, and I was really, I really was pleased with AJ for the most part. I'd like to see him rebound a little bit better. But he played damn good defense on a very good player. I thought he went 4 for 8. He made 1 for 1 from the 3, and 9 points, 4 assists, 1 turnover, block shot. I thought AJ played pretty well. We're just not very strong in that. Some of it's just our size. They go inside and get fouled. We go inside and they call it a block. I was a little disappointed in that with the officiating too, but that's the way it goes when the basketball gods get you.
Got a couple more, starting with Steven.
I don't know if this is too similar, but I'm just wondering, did you hear a player voice in the locker room after when you lost 2 straight home games late in the year? Did that let you know, like, they have a sense of what type of opportunity this was?
No, I mean, everybody's pretty down about it, Thank God we got a week in a way, but no. I mean, and that's not totally abnormal. The first one, yes. The second one, guys led the whole game and were stunned with I don't know. Anybody know what kind of shot that was? I mean, is it open?
No.
Tyson's not there.
It was right over top of him.
Just falling away, kind of. I heard.
Yeah.
I didn't really see it. The refs that I thought were average got in the way of mine, so I didn't see it. No, there was nobody. I think everybody was pretty down, which can be a positive too. It should be down. I don't remember losing 2 games in a row, and I don't know, Matt, you know.
I can't think of the time.
So, I'm gonna have to figure out how to change that. And, just disappointing that we would shoot as poorly as we shot. I mean, Ty had that one in the corner, and he's had 2 in the corner with nobody near him. Hope those go in. If they don't go in, you don't win. If they do go in, all of a sudden you're up. Book had one halfway down, would have put us up, I think, 12 or 11. I had a couple that would have put us up 7 or 8. Game changes a lot. And we didn't do a very good job at the end. We kind of figured and knew what they'd go to, and they went to it. A little bit of a blown coverage. Marty had doubled the low post a couple times earlier, and he got that foul, which was half phantom. And then the last time he just didn't go. And AJ, when you're one-on-one with a guy, it sure wasn't his fault. So he deserved to win.
How much does this one sting to compared to some other losses this year, especially with this one being at the buzzer, basically?
I would say this one stings about as much as any loss I've had in 8 or 10 years. You know, I just felt like we practiced well enough to really play well. I didn't care who they had. I was more worried about us than them. And we didn't. And so, at the end of the day, as ours is, I have to take the responsibility for that. And will. I just gotta make sure I watch the film and know everything I'm talking about before I do it. But I'll do it. And I'll watch it tonight. I'll try to figure it out. But, you know, nobody tried to miss shots. Probably tried hard to keep us in it. I mean, they were so damn good. It's, I just feel bad. I am different than a player. I do feel like I play for all the people. I play for 600,000 alums. I play for every player that ever played here. And I'm saddened to think that I don't see enough players doing that this day and age, and I do feel bad about that. But times are changing, and things are changing, and just part of the new world. But I'll look at that, try to figure it out. So whatever.
One final one question.
I'm just wondering about the other bigs. You know, kind of what you saw from Coop and Kohler. It seemed like there were moments of good play and some defensive lapses.
Yeah, you know, that's exactly right. And you know, with Kohler and Xavier, we got more offense. Marty was by far the best rebounder of the bunch. I don't know what he ended up with, but he got his hands on a lot of them. He gets 6 in 15 minutes. You know, he's by far the best rebounder, and did a good job defensively in a lot of ways, except maybe for that last one. But you know, I didn't think Coop was quite as good as he's been, and you know, defensively or rebounding, and I should check and see before I say it. I thought Jackson played okay, you know. I thought Jackson played okay. I mean, Coop had nothing but a foul and a turnover, you know. Didn't get a rebound. But maybe it's hard to do that in 7-8 minutes, you know. I don't know. But I thought in some ways we tried to rotate the guys to get what we could get out of the guys for what we were missing. And rebounding was hurting us. And that's why we did what we did.
All set, guys.
Thanks.